In my past life, Ethan projected my nude photos onto the giant screen during our wedding ceremony. He resented me for causing Lily's death, publicly shaming me. He even held Lily's memorial portrait throughout the ceremony, completing their twisted matrimonial fantasy. Later, my reputation ruined and mine shattered. I wandered into traffic and died, reborn in a pulsing nightclub. I found myself surrounded by attractive younger guys feeding me grapes. My best friend Emma nudged me, whispering conspiratorially, "Lucy, Ethan's performing tonight. You've totally got this." Last lifetime, I'd fallen hard for the arrogant guitarist in white cotton shirt who sneered at my trust fund privilege. Not everything can be bought. He'd spat. Yet I'd obsessively pursued him. Our wedding became my nightmare, endless loops of my naked body flashing overhead as he venomously declared, "Lucy, let the world see your depravity." He'd kissed Lily's photo at our altar while my parents collapsed. Our family business crumbled, leaving me dependent on Emma's charity. Even then, Ethan hunted me down. "Feel Lily's suffering," he hissed, trapping me with vagrants. I'd leapt from windows, only to be crushed beneath truck wheels. Now, watching Ethan's familiar sneer as he strummed guitar chords, I noticed drunk Robert lurch on stage. The balding man sloppily groped Ethan, planting wet kisses on his neck. The crowd gasped as Ethan's pristine image shattered, his furious struggles only encouraging Robert's drunken advances. The moment I entered the bar, the entire place fell silent. Everyone turned to look at me, not daring to speak. I kept drinking without saying a word. On stage, Ethan forcefully pushed away the bald man Robert. His eyes filled with humiliation. When he looked up at me, there was silent accusation in his gaze. I finally stood up and walked over. He thought I was going to help him, his eyes glaring at me with disgust. "Lucy, you're just as revolting as this man." But I walked straight past him and grabbed the microphone. "I'm announcing today that I'm done with that jerk Ethan. From now on, he can go back to being whoever he was before." He'd always used my affection to play the virtuous saint at the biggest bar in the city, looking down on wealthy people like they were fools. Now, without my protection, let's see how long his act lasts. Ethan's face paled when he heard me. "What new game are you playing, Lucy?" Ignoring him, I grabbed Emma's hand and left. Outside the bar, Emma looked at me curiously. "Lucy, do you really not care about Ethan anymore?" I smiled. Men lose their charm once the novelty wears off. Just then Ethan stormed out. He stopped coldly beside us. "You'd better mean that, Miss Smith. And don't you dare bother me again." Oh, I meant every word. After that day, I stopped going to bars and started studying corporate management at home. My past life taught me even mountains of gold can be squandered better to secure real power. Today I walked into my family's company in a tailored suit, only to find crowds of fresh-faced applicants holding resumes. Among them stood Lily, Ethan's so-called pure-hearted first love. In my previous life, I'd seen multiple men pick her up from work, their intimacy obvious. Her eventual suicide after being exposed as a homewrecker? Pure karma. Yet Ethan blamed me, convinced I'd framed his innocent angel. Now here Lily stood clutching her resume with smug confidence. Nearby whispers confirmed the rumor. Lily's already got an inside track through her boyfriend's connections. Connections? Huh? So the rot in this company started earlier than I thought. No wonder everything collapsed so fast in my last life. I looked up at Lily, only to find her glaring defiantly. Connections are a form of competence. If you lack abilities yourselves, stop gossiping behind people's backs. She shot me a mocking glance after speaking. Some people are so clueless they don't even bring resumes to interviews. Pathetic. I smiled and stood. "You're dismissed. Winston Group has no place for your kind." After expelling Lily, I headed straight to the corporate penthouse. Spending the day shadowing Dad's executive assistant left me exhausted. I'd barely slumped into my chair when Emma's drunken ramblings came through my phone. A male voice interrupted her slurred words. "Miss Lucy, you'd better come. We can't restrain a mess." Emma. Rushing to the bar. I found Emma sobbing against some Twonk's sculpted chest, her hands roaming his abs as he flushed crimson. After prying her loose with thanks, Ethan's strained voice sliced through the noise. "I told you I don't want your filthy money." 3 cougar types had cornered him in a booth, shoving cash in his face while forcing liquor down his throat. His dress shirt hung in rumpled disarray. Last lifetime, I'd ruined myself defending him from such humiliations, burning bridges across Harbor City's elite. Back then, I'd foolishly thought his safety mattered more than social standing, until bankruptcy left me jobless and scraping by in sweatshops. Now, watching whiskey dribble down his chin, I bit back laughter. Steering Emma past the spectacle, I cheerfully called, "Don't mind us, ladies. Just collecting my friend. Enjoy your game." Emma fought me tooth and nail at the exit, babbling about hot gym bros. Exhausted from marathon management training, I hauled her to the presidential suite. Midway through towel drying her hair, room service knocked. "Your delivery, Miss Lucy." Expecting late-night snacks, I gestured toward the table. Emerging from my bathrobe, I found Ethan sprawled half-naked across the bed, feverishly fumbling with his remaining clothes. The ice water pitcher crashed against his flushed face before I registered moving. "Get out, Ethan!" He blinked awake, loathing crystallizing in his gaze. "You're disgusting, Lucy. I should have known." "Do you really like me that much?" Ethan glared angrily, grabbing his clothes. I laughed bitterly and threw another glass of ice water at him. "Who knows where you've been? I'd never want a dirty man like you. Get out now." He staggered to his feet only to collapse again. Disgusted, I opened the door to call for help and nearly collided with Lily. Her face paled. Is Ethan here? What did you do to him?" She pushed past me, rushing in tearfully. "Ethan! Emily's condition worsened. The doctors say she needs emergency treatment." Ethan's younger sister Emily had battled a rare disease since childhood, forcing him to work multiple jobs. In my past life, I'd secretly covered all medical expenses and even arranged specialist consultations. Yet he'd eventually locked me in a room with homeless addicts, watching impassively as they assaulted me. Caring for a man really brings a lifetime of bad luck. The pair stumbled out arm in arm. Lily glared venomously. "Ms. Smith, we're just ordinary people. You've already cost me my job, must you keep tormenting Ethan too?" How noble she sounded. Yet in my previous life, this same woman had sold Ethan to Barbara, High City's notorious wealthy predator. Ethan looked ready to kill me. "Lucy, you'll stop at nothing. Even harassing Lily now? Someone like you belongs in hell." His venomous words transported me back to that locked room. The stench of unwashed bodies. His cold eyes through the window. I'd gladly watch him die 1,000 deaths. But true vengeance requires finesse. Wasn't Lily his precious first love? I wondered how he'd view her purity after she delivered him to Barbara's bed. Over the following days, I immersed myself in corporate projects. My best friend Emma insisted on celebrating my promotion at a club. Entering the VIP lounge, I found shirtless muscular guys adorned with red ribbon bows. Emma whispered conspiratorially, "Barbara's paying top dollar to keep Ethan now." So much for his previous refusal to be bought. So Lily had traded him after all. Last time, I'd exhausted my resources rescuing him from that fate, only to be publicly slapped for my efforts. I said people disgust me. This time, I wanted to see how he'd handle it. The thought of Barbara's particular tastes made me tingle with excitement. Let that bastard Ethan enjoy his last decent meal. I happily sipped my wine when the VIP room door slammed open. Ethan leaned against the doorway, clothes disheveled and face flushed. His watery eyes pleaded pathetically at me, though several burly bodyguards loomed behind him. "Ethan! How dare you run from me?" Barbara stormed in wearing leathers, cracking her whip. He trembled, putting on a frail act. "Lucy, help me." I ignored him, taking another drink. "I know you love me. I'll stay with you," he continued hoarsely. "But I can't give you my heart." His pitiful act made my cruelty surge. "Get lost." Undeterred, he pressed on. "Lucy, I said I'll stay with you." My stomach churned until I spotted a man outside our booth, black shirt untucked, swirling his drink while watching me with amused eyes. I strode over and yanked his collar. "This is the kind of fierce puppy I like now." "You?" I sneered at Ethan. "I'm bored of leftovers." Ethan crawled over, clutching my pants leg, face feverish. "You really don't want me?" I kicked him off. Rage filled his eyes. "You fickle slut. You're not fit to touch Lily's hair." I burst out laughing. In our past life, he'd constantly belittle me to highlight Lily's purity. Now I crouched, whispered close. "Ethan, guess why you got drugged for Barbara? Did Lily give you something to drink?" He stared in shocked horror as guards dragged him away, shirt tearing as he screamed, "Lucy, what do you know? Tell me." I watched gleefully, remembering when he'd let those homeless men drag me to that room. I wanted him to taste my hellfire. Destroying his spirit mattered more than killing him. Let him truly suffer like I did. After I released the stranger's collar, his hand stayed firm on my waist. "Ms. Smith treats people so coldly? Use and discard?" I pried his fingers off, smirking at his half-unbuttoned shirt exposing abs. "You're no innocent either." That deliberate display reeked of calculated seduction. Stranger still, he knew my surname though we'd never met. This was no coincidence. Men, always scheming. Fall once, and I'll fall again? I pulled emergency cash from my wallet, shoving the entire stack at him. "Jake, you're young. Learn something decent instead of chasing shortcuts." After handing over the money, I returned to the private booth where Emma was still munching melon seeds. I flicked her forehead. "Thanks for abandoning me." She smirked unapologetically. "You had your puppy dog admirer. Wouldn't want to cock-block your romance." My lips twitched. Puppy dog? More like a starving wolf. But Ethan Ford wouldn't sleep well tonight. The wine burned my throat, dulling the bitterness. Celebrating too hard meant waking with a brutal hangover. Next morning, I stumbled out of the hotel bathroom, rushing to the office. The door creaked open, and there stood Ethan. His shirt remained crisp, but his walk resembled a marionette with tangled strings. Each hobbled step made me bite my cheek. A snort escaped. He whirled, venom in his glare. "Lucy, why didn't you help me? What did you mean last night?" I shrugged. "Exactly what you're thinking." His jaw tightened. "Another one of your games? You're jealous I love Lily. Someone like you deserves." Nausea rose. "Ethan, maybe ponder why you're here. Your precious first love Lily? Probably counting cash in some alley right now." His face purpled. "Liar! Lily's not." I turned away. His grip bruised my arm. "Explain." Shoving him off. His phone rang. "Mr. Ford? Your sister Emily's in critical condition." He limped off like a wounded crab. "At noon, the hospital called about my parents' physicals." My chest tightened. Since coming back, I'd feared this. The cab ride blurred. But who waited in the sterile hallway? Ethan Ford, pacing like a caged predator. He sat on the hospital chair, exhaustion written across his face. I ignored him, rushing to check the test results. The moment Ethan saw me, he sprang up. "Lucy, You actually chased me to the hospital? What do you want with my sister now? I rolled my eyes and turned to leave, but he blocked my path. Are you really this obsessed with me? Just let it go already. His voice rose. There's no shortage of men out there. Why keep framing Lily? She's innocent. Nothing like your scheming self. His next words came out strained. Leave Lily and Emily alone, and I'll spend one night with you. Curious onlookers were starting to gather when the doctor arrived. Ms. Smith. Your parents' reports are ready. Ethan released my arm awkwardly. I had no patience for his drama. Focused solely on the medical files. The doctor unexpectedly turned to him. Mr. Ford. Rest assured about your sister's treatment. Ms. Smith has already settled all medical expenses. Shock flashed across Ethan's face. That's impossible. Lily said her friends helped, the doctor frowned. Our records clearly show Ms. Smith's payment. Ethan's gaze turned complicated. Lucy, I never realized you cared this much. I'm mentally cursed. Since returning, I'd forgotten about this mess. Cutting him off. I told the doctor firmly. Cancel Emily's payment immediately. Turning to Ethan, who stood frozen. I smirked sarcastically. Let your precious first love Lily bail you out this time. Relief flooded me after reviewing my parents' clean bills of health. Exiting the hospital, I nearly collided with Lily descending from a black Maybach. Designer bag glinting in the sunlight. Her smirk faltered upon seeing me. Still chasing Ethan. Lucy? She adjusted her sunglasses mockingly. How pathetic. I interrupted coldly. Does Ethan know you took Barbara's money to drug him? Panic flashed across her face as I showed my phone Emma had sent photos of Lily accepting cash from Barbara before hitting luxury stores. Lily lunged for the device. Screeching. Those are fake. Security intervened as she thrashed. I walked away, forwarding the evidence to Ethan's inbox. Let the truth sort itself out. I took a step back and hit send. The photo was finally delivered to Ethan Ford, and I could finally delete that bastard's contact. Lily Harris was practically bouncing with anxiety. Just then, Ethan emerged pale-faced, clutching his phone. Ethan, none of this is true. Lucy made it all up. He walked right past her, stopping before me with glistening eyes. Lucy, is this real? I smirked. Every word. His trembling frame looked pitifully fragile. Last lifetime. That exact act had fooled me. Men like him deserved no sympathy. Feeling sorry for men is the start of bad luck. Back then, he'd shown zero mercy. Why should I spare him now? Not twisting the knife would have been a disservice. You're pathetic. Ethan. You worked 3 jobs putting Lily through college and grad school while she screwed half the football team. Oh. And those ER visits Emily kept having? Lily caused them. Couldn't stand your sister burdening her perfect life. His face darkened as Lily finally snapped. You lying bitch. She lunged at me, only to get backhanded so hard she spit blood. Perfect. Let these 2 snakes eat each other. I turned to leave, satisfied. His grip closed around my wrist. Lucy, please. I was blind. You're the only one who truly, I yanked free. Disgusted. Don't touch me. You're walking STDs. Ethan. Have some self-awareness. The ick factor had me power walking out. 4 days. I buried myself in work projects. Turns out men only slow down your bag. Especially that trash Ethan. Just as I thought this mess was over, my phone rang. Enjoying your victory? Lily hissed. You rich bitches always want more. Ethan dumped me. I've got nothing left. I laughed. Correction, you've got all that money from selling his company secrets. Lost love. Gained cash. Fair trade. The silence tasted sweeter than champagne. Lucy. Transfer $5 million to me. Or I'll release those photos of you humiliating Ethan at the hotel. You wouldn't want those pictures going viral. Would you? Lily's voice dripped with malice. Yet my mind drifted to my previous life. Back then, my nude photos had spread like wildfire across the internet. I became the punchline of every joke. Fair game for public humiliation. No one remembered I was the victim, they only cared how much skin my photos showed. My fingers clenched around the phone at the mention of photos and internet exposure. Lily, I strongly advise against this. The consequences will be beyond your control. Her mocking laughter crackled through the receiver. Getting scared now. Lucy? 5 million or the photos go public. Before I could respond, Ethan's voice suddenly interrupted from Lily's end. Lily! What the hell are you doing? A loud clatter followed by Lily's hysterical sobbing echoed before the line went silent. The phone shifted hands. Lucy. I'm so sorry. I never imagined she'd resort to blackmailing you. It's been ages since you visited the bar. Remember how you loved my guitar performances? Come tonight, I'll play your favorite songs just for you. Ethan's velvety baritone oozed false sincerity. The old me would have melted at this act. But that version died long ago, the version destroyed by loving Ethan. Left with broken family ties and a gruesome death. Ethan. Know your place. The sight of you repulses me. Never contact me again. I ended the call before his next manipulative word. During the corporate strategy meeting, my best friend Emma messaged me a video link. Focused on work. I ignored it until the conference ended. The clip showed Ethan in a crisp white shirt, artfully strumming the guitar before gazing soulfully into the camera. Lucy. I failed to cherish you before, but now I realize you're my one true love. Will you give us another chance? The comments section flooded with reactions. OMG. That lucky girl. Choose me instead. Bro. Who cares about past mistakes with that face? Forgive him. Looks are everything. Say yes. Lucy. My frown deepened as I scrolled through. Internet sleuths had already doxed my private accounts, bombarding my DMs. I dismissed it as temporary buzz that would fade until office whispers proved me wrong. Ethan's so devoted. Our CEO Lucy's being heartless. Word is she used to stalk him obsessively. Only then did I grasp the situation's gravity. Things escalated far quicker than I anticipated. I called my best friend Emma. Noise erupted from her end. Lucy. It's too crowded here. I can't hear you. She shouted before moving to a quieter spot. She then filled me in on recent developments. Ethan's viral video had spawned multiple follow-ups where he sang love ballads and begged for my forgiveness. Internet crowds now swarmed his bar nightly to catch glimpses of this minor celebrity. What infuriated me was Ethan's subtle encouragement of cyberbullying. During bar Q&As, he'd skillfully dodge accountability while dropping breadcrumbs about our past. Strangers began dissecting my life online, their comments increasingly vitriolic. My phone buzzed with his latest post, Ethan strumming guitar beneath moody lighting. Lucy. Give us another chance. I know you still care. He crooned. I'll wait at our spot all night. Wouldn't want these good people disappointed. Would you? The accompanying chorus chanted Lucy. Lucy! And get back together. Like some deranged Greek chorus. Worse yet. Unflattering photos of me surfaced in comments. Trolls accused me of being a spoiled trust fund brat unworthy of Ethan's affection. My socials flooded with hate, including maliciously photoshopped explicit images. Memories of my previous life's nightmare resurfaced, the public shaming. Being cornered by leering men while bystanders laughed. My parents harassed during hospital stays. All orchestrated by Ethan's manipulations. Breathing through the panic, I steadied myself. This timeline would be different. If Ethan wanted spectacle, I'd give him Broadway-level drama. After several strategic calls, I arrived at the packed bar. Emma whisked me through VIP access. There stood Ethan on stage, his formerly aloof demeanor replaced by desperate flirtation as he serenaded middle-aged patrons. The transformation screamed Barbara's plaything. "Lucy's here!" someone shouted. Ethan froze mid-chord, his puppy dog eyes locking onto me like I was his last salvation. "Lucy! I knew it! I knew you loved me!" Ethan exclaimed breathlessly, practically bounding down the stairs. "Lucy! Let's be together! I don't care about all those things you did to me before." Things I did? Was he talking about how I'd repeatedly shielded him from Barbara's predatory advances at the club? Or when I paid his sister Emily's astronomical medical bills? I couldn't for the life of me figure out what terrible deeds I'd supposedly committed that required his magnanimous forgiveness. "Ethan Ford, exactly what did I do to you?" I demanded, yanking my hand away when he tried to grab it. "Spit it out! What imaginary crimes have I committed against you?" My best friend Emma had warned me before I came without my protection at the club. Ethan was getting pushed around by everyone now. This sudden act was just his pathetic attempt to regain control after failing to maintain his holier-than-thou act. "I used to have feelings for you. Sure. But I never forced you into anything." My voice echoed through the bar. "Meanwhile, who cleaned up after all the messes you made with clients? Who paid those $10,000 per day hospital bills when Emily got sick? Explain yourself right now." "Ethan Ford." His face twisted into that fake remorseful look I remembered from our previous life together. "I didn't understand love before. But I do now. Give me another chance." "Lucy," he murmured, edging closer. "I truly care for you. Though, you might want to consider those compromising photos from the hotel. They could go viral if you say no." That smug expression transported me back to our last confrontation before the wedding that never happened. Smirking, I waved my phone showing security footage Barbara had taken clear images of Ethan being half-dressed and dragged into a hotel room, followed by me exiting in a bathrobe. Still trusting Lily. "Ethan?" I laughed coldly. "She already sold you out once. What makes you think there won't be a second time?" I'd made Lily an offer she couldn't refuse earlier: hand over the photos or face the wrath of Robert's notoriously vicious wife. It took less than 30 minutes for the evidence to land in my inbox. As Ethan turned pale, I uploaded screenshots from Barbara's incriminating video to every social platform. Phones began pinging simultaneously throughout the bar as notifications flooded in. "Stop looking! That's not me!" Ethan screamed desperately as patrons whispered behind their hands, throwing disgusted glances his way. When he lunged at me, Jake, the bouncer I'd hired, shoved him back onto the filthy floor. "Why would you do this?" Ethan howled from the ground, his designer clothes stained with spilled cocktails. The beautiful monster I'd once loved now looked exactly like what he'd always been: a cheap con artist getting his comeuppance. "Lucy, why are you so vicious? I just wanted to be with you." Seeing Ethan's frantic state, I might have believed him if I hadn't discovered his scheme with Lily. They'd staged this whole act to push me toward Ethan and eventually swindle me out of my money. Turns out Ethan and Lily were always meant to be. How disgusting that he could forgive her even after she betrayed him. I ignored Ethan, leaving the bar under Jake's protection. At the entrance, the eager younger man opened my car door. "Come on, sis. Won't you give me a chance?" I slid into the seat grinning. "Sorry, kid. I don't date freeloaders." After that incident, I focused on self-improvement and overseas education while expanding my family business. Years later, I spotted Lily selling balloons during a snowstorm, her face weathered and red. I walked past without acknowledgement, heading to meet my best friend Emma. The restaurant's chandeliers glinted off Emma's mischievous smile. "Look at our little Lucy. All grown up into CEO Lucy." I rolled my eyes, tossing her the menu. "Order whatever you want." After choosing lobster thermidor, she leaned in conspiratorially. "Heard Ethan's life went down the drain. That golden boy image he cultivated online? Total fraud. Turns out he was sleeping around. Got cancelled hard after the expose. Quit bartending after his sister Emily died last year. Rumor says he's started escorting now. She shuddered. Thank God you dodged that bullet. I sipped my martini, the past feeling like someone else's story. Returning home after dinner, my phone rang with an unknown number. Ethan's hoarse scream pierced through. Lucy. This is all your fault. Why is everything different? Realization struck. He'd also retained memories from our previous lives. Too late. Buddy. Enjoying the consequences? I laughed. His angry retort got interrupted by shrill female voices. Ethan. Unless you satisfy us tonight, you're not getting paid. Suddenly pleading. He whimpered. Lucy. Help me. It's your Ethan. I spat in disgust and ended the call. What a downer. But this is where the fun begins. Ethan is back. Wonder what's waiting for him next. He has no idea. Does he?